Khari, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's all right.
So we've got Northampton's painter extraordinaire sat across from us. First time doing the pod, just us two as well.
Yep. Last year, 3 years ago.
It was time ago.
Yeah,
it was
last year was a group again, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did one with two group ones. Now we've got you.
Yeah, man.
Finally on your own. But we've got a lot. We've got like 3 years ago. It's a long time. Lots changed. You started doing not. I say very different looking paintings, but like the styles evolved. I want to sort of touch on that, like where it's sort of when I first met you doing the limbic paintings and how it's got to this point.
No, I mean, as I said, like when we had our first podcast, next time we come here, it might be something different. I mean, these are just a development, and they've just evolved into these figures or monsters or characters, to say, rather than just abstraction. But yeah, really enjoying these at the moment, especially these paper pieces I've been starting making. But they all link somehow.
There's definitely a stylistic link with just like the brushstrokes and sort of the black and white has always been sort of strong in your work and things. So I think like they still stylistically feel the same, even though now it went from like completely abstract to like, these little characters popping out and stuff. And I was just wondering, like, because I remember before when I first met you, you were saying all your work comes from like, was it deconstruction and like ripping shit up and like destroying stuff? As this feels a little bit not removed from that, but like you said. Yeah,
I mean, with the bigger paintings, I actually do, because I do other stuff other than this, obviously, as you've seen before. This is just a simplified, raw version. With my bigger paintings, it's still the same direction with the limbic stuff, but I continue and I keep going on, keep going deeper into it, and I kind of bring out a figure within the painting rather than just leaving it as abstract. Do you know what I mean? So when I was talking about the development of it, that was the next stage from limbic to the figure paintings that I've done.
Yeah.
Because if you look underneath some of the figure paintings, you'll see some of the limbic style still there.
Yeah.
Still ripping up pieces here and there. It's still very layered. Still very emotional, still very raw at times. I'm still deconstructing. And obviously when I first go into the work, it's still a lot of anger, very emotional. But as I start bringing it all back together, it's like my mood and the emotions that are going into it starts to calm down a little bit, and you can see that through the other pieces. With these paper pieces here, they're very just raw, in the moment kind of paintings, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just quick getting out that emotion. And I think as well, like, it's interesting you say about sort of like your emotional process as you work through a painting, because almost like, I don't know whether we ever talked about it, but I remember that you've always hinted at like sort of almost like art therapy and sort of things like that, which seem to be a big part of your process. Yeah,
I mean, this is the thing. At the time when we had that podcast 3 years ago, I was dealing with a lot of shit. Can I swear?
You can swear all you like, man.
Yeah, man. I deal with a lot of shit. In that podcast, I'm a lot of shit now. Like, I'm slumped in a chair. I'm fat. I'm on medications making me drowsy. I'm not even listening to what you guys are saying because I'm like, it's going in one ear like the other. It's really, I wasn't focused at that time, and at the time, the only thing that got me through it was those paintings, and that's how I dealt with it. So yeah, it's not like a thing I just say just to market myself as an artist. Get the right audience. It generally is a thing that helps me therapeutically. Yeah,
and process sort of like the world, isn't it? And that sort of working through, which is interesting, because obviously we've been interviewing different artists and stuff like that, and it's sort of like I don't know, like I feel like everyone does it to some sort of level, but it's interesting to talk to someone where that's like a major factor in the work, and sort of, I mean, even like you said, like, at the time your life was very different. So even in that like 3-year span, it seems like it's working, and the work's changed, and it like reflects changes in you as well, and sort of your different mentality and stuff. But which I guess is interesting for you as well, because I guess you never really know where your artwork's going to end up.
Yeah, I have some sort of idea of what I want to do as an artist, but it never always goes the way you want it to. I made these paintings at 3 o'clock in the morning. These A3 ones, I've got loads of them at home, and it was just a kind of urge because I was struggling that night. I don't know why, and I just thought, oh, this is how I'm going to try and cope with it. It wasn't like a thing where I was like, I'm going to go in the studio, I'm going to do this today. It was kind of like, I need a way to get what I'm feeling out, and this is the best way that I can do it. And this is how it turned out, and this is what I see.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And this is the rawest form of what I see. I mean, with the bigger paintings, the monsters that I make, they are another way of me facing my demons. Because once I've painted it, I don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah,
You know
like you can move past it.
A more raw form, like I do say.
Do you find it's that sense of processing's different when you're doing something like this, which is like quick and raw and like very in the moment, versus like the bigger paintings that obviously take much longer periods of time to finish?
Yeah, I do. I mean, with these paper pieces, I have multiple pieces at a time. So there are some that I really like and some that I don't like, but they're all helping me to deal with what's in here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And obviously, I don't really look at it properly until it's fully done, or like until I give it to someone. I sold some paintings at the gallery the other day, some paper pieces at the gallery, and someone said to me, "Oh, this is what I see in my dreams." and she was like, "How did you paint what I see in my dreams?" I was like, I don't know.
Just ended up there.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting as well, because I've seen, I think it was the other day on a like Instagram or something, you painting, you had like multiple pieces on the wall, and you weren't necessarily like even painting like one, then the next one, you were kind of back and forth by different pieces.
And this is the thing, trying to, obviously George Condo, he says, work first, think after. So when it was 3 o'clock in the morning, I was just trying to just get what I need to get out, and then take a step back and take it in. But I didn't really take the work in, until a couple of days afterwards. I was looking at it like, right, like that one is sick. I actually really like that one. I don't like that one, but that one's cool. Like, it's a whole new series of work that I've now come up with, which wasn't planned, but it's working.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's sort of like working intuitively, which like a lot of artists around here seem to do, like that sort of style, instead of like sitting down and being like, I'm gonna paint the Eiffel Tower and then planning it all out. Like like Ada, Ty, like all those guys seem to work in that sort of like just getting something out and then piecing it together after sort of thing. And like it's interesting because, like I say, you never know what you're going to get, and you also sometimes don't get what you want.
Exactly. I mean, even with my bigger paintings that have a lot of layers to it, it's very experimental. At times, I do have an idea what I want to do moving forward when I'm painting it, but at times it doesn't go the way I want it to, and I find.
So when you say it doesn't go the way you want it to, though, in terms of just the composition, or in terms of just because that could mean a lot of things, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's just like probably the feeling that I want to give when you look at it, and obviously using certain like brushes, like little things can make a big difference.
Yeah, 100%.
If I've got a dry paintbrush, it'll make a difference whether it's a wet paintbrush or like it's an older paintbrush rather than a new paintbrush, and you've got different kinds of bristles. So it gets like that sometimes. But like I don't like to think about it like too much. I like to just do the work. Like for example, I'm painting one at the moment. I'm like, I want it to look like a Grim Reaper, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna get there. But I'm going to keep working into it, and then eventually, if it doesn't turn out like a Grim Reaper, it's fine because I only know, only I know.
Yeah, what you're aiming for, yeah.
But no one else is going to know what the intention was.
Yeah.
So, and allowing myself to just be free with it and just experiment is what's cool about my artwork.
Yeah, and that's where you find new stuff, like, and you start continuing the progression.
Find out what works, what doesn't work, and
yeah. Then you can keep refining back in and getting more sort of. I guess that's where consistency comes from. Yeah. But with consistency, also, like, I don't know whether you ever find this, but getting to a point where you're sort of bored.
This is the thing. This is the thing that I do get worried about, and this is the thing why my my artwork is it's different, but it all links. Because I can imagine when I do have my first proper solo exhibition in a proper gallery, I don't want the viewers or collectors or whoever comes through to be bored because I say, I've seen that before. I want it to be an experience for them. So with what I'm doing at the moment, I know it's going to be an experience because these are different to my big paintings, they're different to my limbic paintings, but they all link together in some way.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess it's just the themes and like you said, they were a direct development of the limbic stuff, so it makes sense that they tied together. It would be almost more weird if they didn't. Like, you know what I mean? It would seem odd.
I think that's the reason why I stopped doing limbic. I think I was limbicked out, man. I think I was limbicked out, and I kind of felt myself going down that route of repetitiveness.
And not finding anything new that keeps you entertained.
So I kind of took a break and just ended up with this. And I think I said to you before, with the paintings that were in the podcast 3 years ago, if you look closer to those paintings, these were in the background, but I've painted over them. So there's figures within the abstract paintings that I started doing, but I painted over them. Yeah.
I do remember when I first came to your basement as well, there was a lot of sort of, that theme of painting over, because you'd have like one big painting and then an A4 or like sheet this size that had been like half painted into the painting and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting. And a lot of as well, like you were showing me like older work, and within that there was sort of like the themes of faces and stuff. So it almost feels like you had that, like it's just part of that art thing where you kind of, you're always exploring, so you're always kind of coming back to stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do faces from the beginning, but I felt like I didn't feel like I was doing faces for me. I felt like I was doing faces for the consumer, like the person that wants to buy the paint. I felt like I was painting to sell rather than painting for the enjoyment of it, which is why I then went into limbic stuff, because that helped me through my struggles at the time. So yeah, makes
sense. And it's interesting because as well, in between like limbic and these, there was also, I remember seeing some color stuff as well. So you tend to find like when you're working as an artist, like I found it, like you have these like moments that you get very sort of consistent, which for you would be like the limbic paintings are now. But there's always like a little bit of space in the middle where your work just kind of goes off in like a million directions at once, like that feeling of.
It's always experimental, and I don't feel like as a creative person, or even as an artist, you shouldn't just do one thing. I mean, eventually I do want to start doing colour, but the style of my work is not black and white; it's monotone.
Right. Yeah.
Because if I eventually want to do colour, I can just do colour, but different tones of that one colour.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy doing black and white, because it's more contemporary. It's more fitting as well for the consumer if it does get into houses and wherever it may land.
What are you basing that on? Because it is a feel, like I get what you mean. Like a lot of people who seem to do well seem to be having black and white tendencies and stuff.
I think black and white fits everywhere. There's not a place where black and white wouldn't look out of place. I
guess it's more simple. Like it's not going to clash with colours of something else because there's none there. Exactly, so that makes sense. And it is like coming from like a photography perspective or like filmmaking as well. You have to. It makes the process like you don't have to worry about like if you're shooting an event or something. You don't have to worry about some fucking idiot who's put like some garish red advert in the background or something stupid up that doesn't work because the black and white just kind of strips all of that info away. So yeah, it does make it a lot more like not easier because you're focused on different things when you work in color and black and white. But it's definitely like there's a color can go more out of control easily.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, like I was gonna say, you know what it is, Joe? Working with color would be easier for me.
Okay.
Working black and white is actually harder because it's very easy to have my paintings look flat. But if you look at my big paintings, they're not flat at all.
There's texture in them and
textures. And that's simply because I've experimented and learned about what kind of paints to use for certain, like with certain in certain ways, to make it more interesting. Using colors, just different shades, different kind of. You know what I mean? It's easier, so it's more challenging actually. Although
like easier to integrate those layers. You mean, and the depth to it. Yeah.
People think that black and white is easy. It's not. It's a lot harder
because it can just turn into one. Like you say, like if you didn't have all these different layers of like levels of grey, and you're not very specific. Like in photography, it's like where you place the light and where you place shape around that as well. Like it can very easily become like too abstract to the point where people can't tell what they're looking at. Exactly. As the color, because we see in color all the time, like people could have an extra layer to read off of and make it more readable. Yeah. So like you're right, it does add a level of challenge to not let, because like some of these wouldn't work if it was all one like thick black consistency, like you draw on it with a marker. Like you'd lose so much little details and stuff.
That's one of the things that I've obviously looking into urban art like graffiti and stuff. I was thinking about doing these with pens, but it doesn't have the same kind of effect. It doesn't have that, because I like the fact that I have to keep dipping my pen back into the pot because it's like.
So what are you using? Brushes or ink pens and stuff? Yeah.
But like I use the smallest bit, and I like the fact it's like not got a brush in it.
And you have a bit of texture off of the actual canvas itself as well. Yeah. Like come through as like if you're using like Posca pens or paint pens, it would just be like these block lines.
It look too flat.
They look almost cartoony. You know what I mean?
Too cartoony. I think people appreciate when they buy these. They appreciate the fact it's actually hand painted.
Yeah, and it adds just another layer. It's like this is the actual painting, not a print. Like you know what I mean? And that does add something to it. With when you're in anything, like it being the actual one with the actual materials, it's I don't know. For someone who like kind of hoards art, it's like stuff like that makes a difference in terms of if it's in your collection. Like even just like the fact that like all of these, they're not cut up perfectly uniform like they would be if they were print.
When I done these, I was like, not perfectly straight, and I was thinking, you know what, it's part of it. It's part of it. Like it's every bit of these postcards is handmade. Like even with the back of written, the postcard on the back. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't even notice.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's all there. Like
these. I think that adds something to it of it being like a
these are
piece.
Like someone said to me the other day, like these postcard prints are equivalent to the old school standing on a corner selling a mixtape. Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's what these are equivalent to. Like this is my way of promoting my artwork without.
Or even like Basquiat did a similar thing, selling like little postcard size paintings and stuff. Like it's bringing like it's been a practice. I think it's just kind of been lost because now people just go print it, sell it online. As now it's sort of like you're kind of out there selling them in person to people like and stuff, which is.
Just want to let you guys know I've got some prints online as well.
That's good too for people who can't make it down to the Gary.
I'm always. No, I'm gonna say I'm always at the Gary. I'm always about at the. I'm not gonna say always there, but if you want actually hand painted stuff, I'm always about. With these, I've got these ones as well. If you want to buy them as well, but I've got the prints online as well of these.
Nice.
So, but the main thing that I'm trying to sell is the bigger paintings. So these are just to promote the more expensive pieces that I've got.
Just about, I guess, you can throw them in your pocket, and it's also.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna make business cards, but these are kind of like business cards as well.
Oh, they serve that purpose. It's got your artwork on it and the tag. Like, what more do you need?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's ideal. It's like,
it's very, very cost efficient as well, man.
yeah. And if they don't sell you, you've got artwork rather than a stack of business cards that you can't do anything with. Like,
and
it's not too bad.
I'm going to eBay, get like a QR code sticker and stick them on. I could actually do that, you know. I might do that.
Yeah, true.
Put
QR on
some
the back,
stickers,
tape to the website.
Easy.
It's a good shout.
I think it all does back into my actual brand of Khari. Like, it's literally handmade from me in it. So
Yeah, that's nice.
to do, man. Even this jacket, bro, it's all just marketing. You get me?
How did the jacket come about? How did just the clothes stuff come about? Because that's like another.
So my close friend Izzy Gibbs, he has a music video, and he needed a jacket. So he messaged me like, "Yo, can you make me a jacket?" Blah blah blah. Got the jacket. I actually was gonna have this jacket anyway because I'm eyeing the actual jacket itself in the shop. Can't disclose that because that's my plug. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, like he wanted a bomber jacket initially. Didn't have his size. I was like, yo, Izzy, like I was gonna get this jacket. What do you think about this? He's like, yeah, that's sick, cool. He's like, yeah, we're gonna match it. I was like, yeah, cool, all right then. So got the jacket and I just customized it for him. So he's got a 1 of 1 as well. This is a 1 of 1 Khari Studios jacket, man. So the brand, like I said to you earlier, the brand isn't a brand; it's a marketing company. Because when you see the artwork, it all links back to the artist, all the artwork.
I guess that's the thing. You put stuff like that out there to link back to your actual paintings itself, like just to get people back to the artwork, which I mean makes sense. It's just different ways of how you get people to access your work, which is the same reason we do. Like this podcast isn't just a podcast; it's marketing for the studio and stuff like that. You know, I mean, it's. But we also get the podcast out of it, which is also a benefit. Like,
no, that's good. I hear it, man. And I feel like for me, it puts less pressure on me to be. Oh, I've got a brand now. I need to do this, and this, and this. It's like things will come. Like when they come, like I've got so many ideas for the brand, like Khari Studios. But there's no rush. Clothing brands are. It's been around for years. There's no rush to get. I think I talked to you about this before. Like, there's no need to rush anything that's artistic because it's going to be around for years.
Yeah, true.
And when your time comes, your time will come to be.
And it's almost better not to rush it. It depends what it is, but like getting it right, I think, is more important than like. You get to a point where getting it right's better than just putting something out and being like, I've got to put anything out just to get something out. Like, it's better to just
work on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some T-shirts that I'm working at the moment, but I'm contemplating whether to actually drop the T-shirts. You know what I mean? And I think because I'm contemplating on it, I don't think it's a good idea just to do this yet. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I've got loads of creative ideas. You know what I'm like, Joe. Like,
dude,
my mind's always running.
non-stop. But yeah,
man.
Talking about stuff, we should probably touch on Delve as well. Talked a little bit like exhibiting earlier and just that sort of crazy group of artists and how that come about.
What was that, last year?
Yeah, it was like pretty much exactly a year ago. It was like August, September, I think.
Bro, that day was so sick, man. That day was so sick. Like, it was people showing so much love and appreciation to the whole show.
Yeah,
it was really good. I mean,
getting everyone in one place at one time as well was kind of like.
I think when we do the next one, we need to have a barbecue.
Oh, dude.
we need because last year I was like, yo, we need some food. Like everyone was drinking, it was all good.
But the lab were having a barbecue at the last one.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to do that. We need to do that.
Have our own. In that little courtyard Jack has out the back.
Yeah. That's gonna be stuff. Yeah, we have to see about that.
But yeah, I'm hoping this year will be bigger and better because there's more artists. There's a few new names. It feels a little bit like. Well, like Latrice gets mad because everyone talks about Delve as the first one, when really there was like the one before that, which was Ken, which neither of us two were like part of. Yeah, so like, well, we were involved because it was hosted here, and then Delve came along and they did it. I can't remember how many more artists they added, but they added like obviously me and Alex as actual artists rather than just using the space. A few others as well were involved, like some of Jack's mates as well, and it felt pretty big. Now we've added another.
This year we've got about 20 people.
Yeah, which is like
crazy.
You know.
It might as well be an art fair at this point.
It feels like it. Art fair just, I don't know. That doesn't sound as cool though. It's just
It doesn't sound as cool, but it basically is. So
yeah, no, I'm hyped for it. Do you know what you're showing yet?
Bro, I've got loads of stuff in the safe, man. I've got loads of paintings. I've got one I can show. It's a big one, so I'm thinking about finishing that one. So,
sick. Yeah, it's kind of cool as well to see just what like everyone else has been up to as well, like compared to last year. Because I know like everyone's been doing mad shit. Like Ty's always busy, so I'm expecting Ty's stuff to look completely different from what he put up last year and stuff. So it's kind of just an interesting little thing to be a part of. The next one's August. Talking about fairs as well, you wanted to talk a little bit about art fair and live painting and stuff as well.
So, 7th of September, I've been asked to do something at where is it again?
I think it's Delapre.
Delapre, that's it. Yeah, Delapre. So that would be interesting. I might do one of these. I'm not sure yet.
How does it work with live painting though? Because if you did one of those and you did it in 2 seconds, they'd be like, sorry, bro, you can't leave already.
That would be pretty cool though, because people be like, "Right, like you done it so quick, you made it look easy." But it's like, okay, yeah, you do it then.
Well, true.
Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like,
yeah, but if they've dedicated the day's space and people turn up, book their morning off work to come see you paint, and you're there for 2 seconds, like.
To be honest, I could get loads of like little pieces like this and just do them throughout the whole day.
That would be cool. Just keep it going, like you're a printer.
Yeah. Just touch it up, and at the end of the day, done.
Yeah, have hundreds.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I might just do an actual painting, proper painting, a proper figure piece. But yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm going to Jazz Cafe in September.
Sick.
To watch El Sweatshirt and The Alchemist.
Nice.
So I might do a El Sweatshirt portrait piece, but making it look like a monster. I don't know if I want to do it yet, but I might do it. So you guys might see it. But
giving away all your ideas, man.
Yeah, I'm giving away all my ideas.
Make sure you do them before this comes out.
Yeah, no, I will.
Otherwise someone will steal it.
You know, the thing is, sometimes when you say stuff on stuff like this, it's kind of like you have to do it. Because I wanted to do a human monster before. Like, I wanted to get Weirdo to come down to the studio, take pictures of the front, side, and angle of his face, angles, merge it together, paint it, but then bring in my monsters like the mouth, the ears.
That would be cool.
The eyes.
Yeah, and combine it.
Yeah,
he's got such a charactery face as well. Like, it kind of
he does.
like he's a really like interesting guy. Like from photographing him as well, he's just got like, I don't know, sometimes people just have faces that are just like interesting for whatever reason, just like have presence, I guess you call it, like X Factor. He definitely has that.
Yeah, I've been working with Weirdo, big up Weirdo, man. I've been working with him for quite a while as well, doing his album covers, like for singles and stuff years ago.
Yeah. He was talking about one of old ones with you the other day when he was here. Yeah, it was here yesterday and it's here tomorrow as well. But yeah, he was saying about some odd artwork that you did and stuff, which I didn't know anything about because I've only known him. I met him maybe within the last year or so, like when he sort of started releasing music again, and it was like the big comeback that's building up to.
He's going in this year, man. For real.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, him and Holes, shout out.
Yeah, it's good having people around me like Weirdo and Izzy and people like you. Big up Joe as well, man, because Joe got me on my first paycheck as well. With
I did?
Yeah, man. You got me paid like a little bit, man. But with that what's the people called again? No Jobs in Yachts.
Oh shit!
Yeah, big up you, man, for that, bro.
Oh, okay, first. Oh yeah, was it one of their zines?
Yeah,
like early on.
Basically, asked me like a couple of questions.
Yeah, that was the one where I think was I in the same? I think it was the issue after the one I was in when I first met. You had to like. Did you have to record it on your phone? I had to record it on my phone because COVID times. Yeah.
It was like
I had to go in my garage and hide from my family because I was like, they're gonna bully me for like talking into a phone about stuff.
Mate, it was a question like, excuse me, how is the COVID affecting emerging artists or something like that, and how are you coping with it? How are you dealing with it or something like that? But yeah, big up you.
I
Joe,
completely forgot about
This is why I say, this is why I came.
that.
When I
As
come here,
like,
I was like, I need to give Joe some stuff,
Yeah.
man, because I owe you big time, bro.
I completely forgot. But that wasn't even the one I was thinking. Yeah, because I was part of that as well. I think they did it like a sort of almost like pass the parcel. Basically, they asked, like, I don't know how they did it, or they asked me, and then they were like, "Do you know anyone else?" And and then they went to you, and I think a few other people from like, because they're all over the East Midlands. They still send us zines. They've sent us the latest issue. I'll give you one before you leave. But yeah, they're still going.
This is the thing,
good
though,
guys.
When I love the fact that when my mates or with anyone, when it comes to anything creative, I love the fact that my name gets brought up because I feel like I'm doing something right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like the fact that people can see the drive that I've got, and how much I want to do this as a full-time thing. So when people like you are getting me these kind of opportunities, I'm like, rah, I must be doing something right.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just like keeping, because when I met you, man, you were like, I don't think you'd even made your like Instagram account as you had of it today, like for art, and you were like, I don't know whether I'm going to start like showing people the paintings still, and it was just like, it was kind of cool to see, because it was kind of like you'd done so much shit, and I felt like I end up bringing up the first encounter every podcast, because it was just like kind of just a bit surreal. I was like, why aren't you posting all this stuff and talking about it?
It's crazy, bro. Honestly, I really appreciate you, man. Honestly, I do, bro.
No worries.
But yeah.
And then as well, something popped into my head when we were talking about like exhibition and stuff. You did a thing a little while ago at the uni. I think that was with Jordan, Suede as well.
Me and Jordan done a workshop. So I was talking about abstract expressionism, and he was talking about photography. Yeah, it's all right, man. It's a good day.
Who were you talking to? So art course, or just
a couple of students that came down, and we just talking to them, sitting with them.
Nice. How'd you find that?
Do you want to know something?
I feel like you're fancy.
No, joking. Nah, it was all right, man. It was all right. It was good. Yeah, it was a good day. They had some Caribbean food there as well. It was good. Yeah. So
fair enough.
Wherever there's food, I can't complain, innit?
That's fair. That's fair.
I got paid as well.
Fair enough.
It's all right. I mean, this is the thing as well. Like anyone that buys my artwork or any money that I get that's from what I do as an artist, it gets reinvested back into the artwork. Like I said this to you before.
Yeah.
When you came to the studio, the only reason I had those paintings done is because the last painting that I sold, I could have bought trainers with them. I could have bought bare trainers with them. But I thought I bought more canvases, more equipment.
Yeah.
And it's just got to this, now it's got to this stage. I'm like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. You kind of have to, because it's just like, if you don't keep investing back into it, then you run out of paintings eventually, exactly. And then you're just left with shoes. So it's like,
I think it's cool as well. Like I was out. So I don't know if you remember. Do you remember those paintings I done with just loads of faces? It would have been one of Aaron's cover for that you showed me the other day.
He didn't show me. He was just talking about it. So I don't actually know what it looks like.
Before the Limbic stuff, I was doing loads of like tribal masks.
Yeah.
Like this. This is what I'm saying. It all comes.
I know. I definitely. You showed me some in the studio.
Yeah, so
I was
done about
the same thing.
25 paintings, 80 by 8 centimeters. I sold all of them 50 quid each. I had a couple left. I had a guy in London who was kind of like my agent, kind of. He managed to sell one of those paintings from that collection to a lady for £700. So obviously all the people that I bought at 50, I said to them that painting that you've got now is now worth £700 because it's managed to get from 50 to 700.
Yeah.
So like I say, when you're buying my artwork, you're investing in yourself, because I'm investing in myself to get to the stage where it's going to be so valuable. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's like all sort of, because it's hard to, artwork's not priced on like, oh, Khari, you spent this much amount on the canvas, this much amount on the paint, plus your 2 hours that you spent painting it. So when you add that up, that's how much it's worth. It's like they can, like, you know, some artwork sells for like millions, some stuff, you know, you could give it away for a £5, you know what I mean? Or just give it away and it gets passed around. I think because there's no concrete, like, this is how much it costs, plus I had this, like, it's very hard to price those things, but
it is hard to price things. But you got to also think as well, when you're pricing certain things like the postcards, it's promotion. So the reason why these are like £5 is simply for promotion. I could sell this for a lot more.
Yeah.
But taking that risk to understand, like, £5 print, cool. What I'll get from this, I'll get a follow if they don't follow me already. And this person's got a painting in their house. And I've got £5.
Oh, there's always like other benefits of it. And
with the bigger pieces, it goes to someone's house. We don't know who's going to see it.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you always, that's the beauty of sort of physical work. Like I've had it like, you've seen like the little books and stuff like that. They end up in someone's bookshelf and then their mate picks it up and then I get a random follower and they message me, be like, oh, we're going to shout you for this stuff. And you're just like, who are you? And they're like, yeah, I saw the book at my mate's house or something. Like it just creates pathways, basically.
You didn't think you knew.
Yeah,
like
without you having to go around and meet every single person.
Like even with like the amount of times that I've thought about not posting something on social media, like these for example, I post it. I thought, oh fuck it, I'll post it, and then I get messages like, yo, I want one of those. I want like these are selling for 150 originals. So yeah, I've been selling them, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've sold prints of them in Khari like last week, of these like I think A3 sizes, A2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Framed.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's worth doing though, because then that you sell that, and then you can buy more material, keep going. Like exactly. It's just, I think that's always what like the goal is. That's like partially the reason me and Alex do all the stuff in the studio is to make money so we can produce like the books and the artwork and stuff, because you've got to kind of like shit costs money to make end of the day. Like it's not free. Like
it's literally when you've got like a little bit of, when you've got like £500, you're thinking, cool, how what's the best way for me to make, I need to make more money for £500. What's the best way to guarantee that I'm gonna make £500? You're like, okay, cool, £100 posters, just stick them around. You got £400 left. Okay, think, okay, cool. Someone, you can get a couple of teas with that. Do you know what I mean? It's thinking about the best ways to make more money, but also thinking, maybe I need to sacrifice certain things. I think one of the things I definitely want to do, Joe, is, I'm talking bare fast.
You're good.
One of the things I definitely want to do next is a book.
Okay.
That's definitely one of the things. I see you, I see Ty. What's the name again?
Adder's
Adder's
released
got a
some
book as well.
Yeah.
I don't know who else has got books, but I feel like it's way. I should have had a book ages ago.
I think the thing is, it's interesting because like obviously of the names you've mentioned, all sort of photographers, except for Ada, who had a little bit of fine art, but she hangs out with now she's doing a lot more photography. And I think it's the difference between painting and photography is photography's always had this kind of like, there's the prints that are for the exhibition and the photo book. Like the photo book's like a big part of just the culture, as I feel like it doesn't really exist in painting as much. Like people aren't, there's like a few people in like the more DIY scene and like punk scenes and stuff like that, like, or comic books obviously is like art books and stuff, that practice will still exist. But I feel like in terms of like fine art painters, like they're not really releasing books necessarily. There's a few, but
I think it's a thing of cut this up. For me, it's a thing about understanding where I am as an artist, understanding that some things are not gonna work just yet.
Right. Okay.
So obviously, I want to do a book, but it's not gonna work just yet. There's certain things I want to do with the brand. It's not gonna work just yet because I feel like I have to have a certain type of audience.
Right. Who want the book? Basically. Yeah.
Because I've got enough work to do a book, but what's the point? I'm just gonna be wasting money.
Yeah, if you're just going to end up with like 700 books sat around not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
I'm going to end up giving them out.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way that I'd have a book is if I can just do one book, go around to a couple of galleries in London and say, look, this is my portfolio of what I've done.
Yeah.
But even then, galleries don't like that anymore. They like you to email, which is shit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you get 1,000 emails a day. Like, what? I need to do something different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Same with everything though. Everyone wants you to do it online. It's kind of like it's just, horrible. There's also like partially why we do the podcast, like we brought it back as like the new show and things like that, because it just, everything goes online and people don't get to see any of us face on because we're just posting photography and shit we did for other people. So you lose that. And as well, like, it's kind of a good excuse just to hang out with everybody without having to be like, come to the studio and work on this specifically. Like, you can just come hang out, have, like, we still get some out of it, it's productive, but like, we're not being like, I don't know whether I'm getting across, but yeah.
I'm gonna say, like, with me, sometimes I feel like when people come out with, they think I'm some depressed fucking dead soul black heart guy. So now I've got these postcard prints to kind of give me opportunities to actually be in certain spaces where people can actually talk to me and actually get to know me, like the podcast.
Yeah.
People can actually see, like, I'm all right. Like, I'm not that bad. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, when I'm sending the postcard prints in person at the gallery or whatever, they can talk to me and we can have an actual proper discussion, which is nice, rather than just being like, oh yeah, my print's online, go and buy it. Because no one's gonna actually buy that shit if they just if you're just telling someone to do something, not gonna do it.
Well, is that whole thing people buy from people? So that's why you need, like, unless you're willing to put fucking money into marketing and adverts and be just like this big corporation, which most people aren't and don't want to be. Then, like, you need to have.
You lose so much money. You lose so much money with marketing and promoting.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Like, that's the reason why, like, I'm just going around sticking these paper pieces around in the gallery.
Yeah,
in around Northampton, because it's kind of a thing where by the time this comes out, I'll be everywhere. Like, I'll guarantee that, because I'm working on obviously being everywhere and promoting myself without spending too much. But I've got to spend a little bit on, like,
yeah. The stuff, that's like anything. But I think it is just like there's a, like, for us as well. Like, we do the podcast, we have the exhibitions here, and really, like, one motive is to, like, highlight different artists and stuff like that and build the community. But the second motive is, like, you get people into the studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same mentality as what you're talking about, where it's like, oh, we could go spend 100 something quid on, like, Facebook ads or something, but, like, what's the point when we can actually, like, meet people, get them to know, like, actually what's going on a little bit more in depth without having to, like, kind of be like, how do we distill it down to, like, a little tagline or a slogan or something? How can like, just come talk to us?
It's like, obviously with the like with Suede and everything, what he's doing is sick. Obviously he's doing murals for certain companies.
Yeah.
And that's what he's known for. So it's kind of like,
speaking of,
for this example, he's a really good guy, man. Got a lot of respect for him as well. So obviously I'm trying to look at that kind of urban scene, like I said before, and try and follow that with the marketing. Do a bit of spray painting. Obviously, I am going to do some hand painting pieces around Northampton as well, like on paper. Actually.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just got to try, man.
Yeah, it's just, and also, like, it's just expressing yourself, isn't it? It comes back to that core thing of, like, and anything artistic is the core reason is to express at least something about yourself, and then it's just like how that second form of expression is, like, how do you put that expression into the public eye, basically? Like, how do you get that across to people?
So how do you turn that expression into an actual brand? Because at the end of the day, like, PHOTOMAFIA Studios is a brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Khari Studios is a brand. Like, so it's how you turn that expression or what you do into a brand. It's just trying to make it as much. Make it organic as possible.
Yeah. Especially with a new brand as well. Like, this is, like, we've not been here 100 fucking years or something. We're not Coca-Cola, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just getting it, making it as, there's no expectation of a brand that doesn't exist yet, so you can kind of just do what you want, so you might as well make it cool, like, basically.
No, it's cool, man. Like, PHOTOMAFIA Studios is cool, man. It really is.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's cool.
So is your shit, man. It's
alright, it's getting there. It's getting there, man.
Nah, it was good straight out the gate, like, with those old paintings, man. Yeah. That was, obviously, like, you showed me stuff going back years, but when you publicly started, it was, like, there.
Yeah.
It was like,
but I feel like I've still got the same drive since the first podcast that we had. It's always been there. I mean, sometimes it's lacked, but, like, the other day,
that's like anyone, bro.
I had imposter syndrome a couple of weeks ago, man. I just literally deleted everything because I was looking at other writers. I was thinking, oh, they do better than me, blah, blah, blah. I came back. I was like, yeah, I know who the fuck I am. Like, I came back, like, yeah, like, I need to get back on my shit because I'm looking at other people too much. And this is the reason why I don't look at writers anymore. I study myself, how to better myself.
I think it's like a difficult thing because I get that where you start studying another artist and then you like you start comparing or you start copying, and then it like becomes you lose sort of yourself, as it's like you have to be very sort of delicate when looking at other people's shit and not getting too wrapped up into it to the point where you're just like
you got to
B-tech that.
You got to appreciate it, but not deep it too much. I mean, even with these, I want to develop these into screen prints next. So make them into big screen prints and just play around with them. Because I was looking at Cause's work the other day on Salisbury's. When I looked at the description, it was like screen print. I was like, it looks like, I thought you hand painted it, but it's screen printed.
Interesting.
So that's probably the next one we'll look at as well, screen printing.
That'd be interesting. Bit of Warhol influence in there, bro.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I wonder how they'll react to a screen though. Like just because you've got so many different.
So obviously, what I'll do is because I do graphic design as well. I'll probably put it into my software and just illustrate it, turn it into illustration.
Yeah.
I've got a site already that I could do screens. I could screen it like that. But yeah,
It'd be cool to see. Man,
obviously, I might do some t-shirts because I'll have the screen, so I can literally put it on anything.
Yeah. Start running around.
Yeah,
put on everything.
Can you do my jacket? I've actually got this. There's an artist. She's a female singer in London. She wants me to do a T-shirt for her or a jacket or something. I've got so many people that want me to do collaborations with. I've got so many people that want me to do customization of the clothes, but I don't like to just do things
for other people.
Yeah, like, I would love to do like stuff for these people, but I don't. There's no rush, like I said, innit?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got. I'm going to be customizing a jacket for Auntie. Like a leather jacket, which is one of the people. Actually, I think it will be sick when I do it. But yeah, when it's made, it's made. It might be, you might see it, you might not. You know what I mean?
I think as well, it's like if you're gonna do it as like a collaboration with another artist, then it has to tie into like what they do as well.
Talking about collaborations, yeah. Do you know? I was at the gallery the other day talking about collaborations with Essie.
Oh shit, yeah.
We need to do a collaboration, yeah. So we were talking about collaborations, and I was like, you know what? We should do a show. We should have some collaboration pieces, make some artwork, and do it at the gallery. So there's a lot of things in the works that may happen. There's a lot of talking going on right now.
That's just half of art though, is talking and thinking and writing endless fucking phone notes about different ideas, losing them, losing your phone, losing the ideas. They come back a year later. Like I've been trying to like just sort of have almost like two process, like what I'm actually working on, and then all these ideas, and trying to structure those so I'm not like half working on 17 different things at once, just like let that simmer until I'm like different book projects and series and stuff, because I'm always just like working on like on top of like obviously like the commissions we do at the studio and stuff like that, like my personal projects, but I end up with some that end up like getting to a certain point and then just like vanishing because time, or end up concentrating on different paces, just trying to be a bit slower. So the collaboration is a little bit different, but
question for you on it
still.
Do you find that with commission work, a lot of it falls through? Like, you know, people come through and they say, "Oh, I want you to do this as commission," or they want you to do some work, and then they don't really follow through with it.
We get a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't get as bad. Like, how do I put it? I've started the sentence in the wrong place. But no, I was going to say it's worse when you're starting out. But I think that's just because opportunity's more sparse and you're starting out, so like things fall through, and like for various different reasons. Like, well, I say we're pretty good now, where if people are coming to us, it gets done. Like at least like we have it occasionally. I think my worry at the moment is we start dealing with sort of these bigger projects, and sometimes it's like you'll talk to the person and they'll be like, "Okay, we'll let you know once we've like firmed up price or details and stuff." You're like, "Yeah, cool." And then for me, sometimes it's like, okay, we haven't heard anything in 2 days. Like, if they just forgot, if they like, what's going on? But like, sometimes they don't come back for, you know, a couple of months. And then they'll come back being like, "Oh, all good, let's lock this date in." And you're like, "Man, I thought you died. Like, the fuck is going on?" It depends who you're working with though. Like, some people like to be like, "I want to book something in, I'll be there in 2 days, let's go do it." And you're like, "All right, cool." But some people work over much longer time frames, and it just sort of, I think as well, I'm like, we've been doing it long enough where as soon as someone, off of the like initial DM, I can tell whether they're sort of flaky or like full of shit, or kind of asking for something that they're going to be like, oh yeah, we want you to do this massive photo shoot with a huge video and like hire out a drone, but like, oh, the budget's about £2.50. Like, and you're like, I can tell when they're being like just piss takers, trying to be like, it's just certain ways in the way they talk. So we tend to be pretty good at avoiding certain the situations before they happen. You know what I mean?
I asked that question because I have the problem.
I think everyone to some extent has that problem, it's painful.
I want you to do I want you to do this piece for me. I'm like, yeah, cool. It's got to the point now. I'm like, yeah, cool, and I'm just like, I know I'm not gonna hear from you.
Yeah.
As soon as I tell you the price, you're gonna be like, you're not gonna come back to me, because I think a lot of people look at me as an artist and think, oh yeah, he's not taking himself seriously. It's like a hobby. It's like, no, bro. Like I said, if I make you a commission piece, that's special. It's not like any painting I just made. So I'm not gonna just you can't lowball me unless like. And this is the thing as well. If you support my artwork and if you bought clothes, shout out Shay. Shay's been supporting me from the beginning, so she's been buying my clothes, buying my artwork. So any time that I've got a pink piece, I always send her free art all the time. So I'm not a problem giving back. But when I get commissions coming through and they're just like, I want this done, this size, give them a price. Don't hear back from them. I'm like, yeah, I'm used to it now.
Yeah,
some people like, I want this done. I'm like, I don't even listen to it. I'm like, oh yeah, nice, cool.
I think it's kind of a hard balance because sometimes, like from our end, you always have to, in the back of our head, we might be thinking, oh yeah, sound, this guy. But you have to kind of remain open to it because sometimes people will surprise you and they are the other way. Like it's such a strange game.
Yeah.
But I think we've got to a point as well. I think as well, having the studio as well, I think we get a lot of sort of, as we go on, we've got enough repeat stuff where stuff falls through. It's kind of like, well, if they're not replying or they're being useless at this point, imagine if we were like halfway through production. Like it is kind of good that they've gone. It's not like when we were like early and it was like, or like before we had the studio when we were just first doing commission work, being like, no, I need this commission. Like, come back. I'll do it for a $5. Like, it's like, that will be our only thing for months. It's like, well, if someone disappears, then it's kind of like, well, that just gives us back some time to put into like this, the podcast, or a private project, or, just other commissions even. You can, it's like, we're quite lucky that we're at this point, but it has been a long road of like picking out, understanding how people work with those sort of things and just figuring out like every little detail for when you're messaging someone on those things can dictate whether they fuck off or keep it going. Or
it's like you said though, when you kind of get the vibe from when they DM you, like whether they're bullshitting you or whether they're in person,
and that's
work done.
Also what I like as well, because a lot of our marketing is like the exhibitions. Normally when there's an exhibition, if it's like relatively busy, there's one person who comes up and they go like, oh bro, we want you to do this, that and the other, and then it's like, cool, drop us a message. And if they're willing to come all the way to the studio physically and they follow up, that's 2 levels of them like putting in the effort, so they clearly must actually want it. As like if we were just getting random DMs from people, like those were the ones that tend to be a little bit more random,
like flaky.
Yeah, especially if there's no mutuals as well. If it's like totally random and it's a guy just being like, oh, we have this event in Norfolk or something, like proper random location, then I tend to be a little bit like, oh, what's going on here? Because why come to me or come to us? Like,
do you tend to treat them differently when it comes to like, obviously I don't know if you want to talk about this, but like, say for example, we do work together. I don't know how it works with like me paying you, but for example, but
I mean, we've never really like worked together. We've been in and around each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's like
if we was to work together.
Oh right, like okay, yeah.
Theoretically speaking,
yeah.
Because we're mates. Would you feel more comfortable me paying you half and half?
Oh, dude, everything's different. But yeah, but there's
that's what I'm saying, different clients, because I'm feeling like if you had a client from up north, that wanted work from you, I'd be like, oh, you can pay me. I want you paid in full, so I know you're guaranteed actually gonna.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean, but with me, I feel like you'd be like, oh, like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's one of those things where it's like, if you had said like before we got into like actually doing anything, if you were like, oh, can I pay half and half or like in installments or whatever, that can be agreed before. And plus as well, like you have a little bit more lenience because we know you. Yeah. Bro, we know where you live. Like, we can, we can find you. Like, and like every other person we know also knows you. So if it got to the level where you did try and hide, it's like good luck. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, obviously, we've built that trust in it.
Versus someone from like the other side of the planet, where it's always going to be a little bit like, I don't know.
I'll be the same with my clients, man. Like, if it's someone I don't know, I'd be like, yeah, you can pay me.
Yeah,
pay me in full. Whereas I've done things in the past where it's like Kalana payments.
Right. Yeah.
So if I pay it's like £600, I'm like, oh, just pay me in 3 months. Pay me over 3 months.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's not a problem.
Yeah, we've done that on certain shoots for certain things. It's not something we like openly go like, yeah, come to us, we'll let you pay in installments, because some people, like you said, will take the piss and they'll do it as just like, oh yeah, we'll give you £1 a month for the next 300 years, and you're just like, no, and then we'll be late on payments and we'll be like a dick about it. But like, I think it's always like, you don't want to treat people differently though when you're like in the actual terms of working. Like even with like, it's always in the back of your mind. Like when I first started doing, like even someone like Weirdo, who I started working with recently, like that got passed for me from Azim. Like I trust Azim blindly pretty much. Yeah. So in turn, I'm like, with Weirdo, there's already like a certain amount of level of trust, but we met up before and stuff, and it's like still in the back of your head, you're like, you never know with people. Turns out he's a fucking awesome guy, and he's like a joy to work with, and I like every project we do, it's just like, I feel chill, relax. He's cool. His team's cool. Like get to work back and forth with Azim a little bit as well on the music videos. So it's like everyone's sort of interconnected. And at that point, there's no point in that progress. Like we don't have to really like talk about how it's getting paid or when. It's just like everyone just wants to get back to the actual work, and it's like chill. You know it's gonna happen. It's just it's like it's all good. Like and I think that's the beauty of wanting to work, especially with commission stuff, just with the, like obviously still introducing different people, meeting new people and stuff, but you start learning as well, not just the people who you're like, nah, that message you sent is weird, I know something's going to happen, but you also start learning as well, there's a pool of cool and nice clients, but there's certain ones, you know, like you meet people and you're like, oh yeah, these are people I could see myself like doing more with, and it's like a really nice working environment versus someone else who's like still like good client, but you're just like, oh, there's certain things that don't fit how I like to work, where they like, you know what I mean? You start figuring out the other side, which is like people who you consider like, oh yeah, want to stay in, like have them come back. They can come back every day of the week if they wanted to, and I'd be like, sick, that's a dream.
You got to have boundaries with people. Like you got to have boundaries for everyone, to be honest, but you got to have certain boundaries with people you barely know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so
just for everyone. Eventually you got to sleep. Some people won't let you sleep. Some people like expecting you to be working at like 5 in the morning. It's like, why, bro? Like, no, like I'm a normal person. I want to chill sometime too, you know. But
it's like my mates will call me and be like, "Yeah, can I call you?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm chilling."
Like,
I'm chilling.
Right now, it's like on every level, and I think it's almost like you have to have a second, not second personality, but like a second. Set of, like you have personal boundaries with personal relationship, there's like business boundaries as well, where it's just sort of like, but otherwise you just get run all over and you end up running around for people doing non-stop shit that you don't even want to be doing in the first place or wasn't agreed for you to be doing. It's just like becomes a bit of a nightmare, and you end up trapped yourself within your own hell, because we're like, you know, it's basically self-employment to a certain degree, you know what I mean? It's a prison you've made for yourself. She's calm as well.
She was like, "Did you stick them things up in the Gary?" I was like, "Yeah." Is it rolling?
Yeah, we're back on. We can cut this part. We can do like a.
Nah, it's cool. Keep it rolling. I don't care, man. Yeah, strokes. Anyway, she was like, "Yeah, did you keep the things in the Gary?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was just like laughing. But then that night I was talking about doing the wall, and so maybe by the time this comes out, I might have done a wall.
Yeah,
I think she said it depends. She's gonna have to look into it, because I think a few people want to do it. So.
But it's kind of like, because they've always had the spray painted walls, so it's kind of a spot that wasn't done when they redid it, so it's kind of been left open for someone.
Yeah.
Like, so I imagine there is a few names who are.
That'll be good promotion for me still.
Would look cool.
It would look cool.
Would look cool.
Because like I said, I'm trying to do any shows this year. I'm trying to promote, and that's a good little bit.
Not trying to do any shows this year.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do any shows this year.
Fairs.
I mean, I have 3 shows this year to do, group exhibitions.
Yeah. Fairs.
But I'm not trying to do any solo shows this year.
Fair enough.
I mean,
we're on light.
I've got something to tell you, but I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah, no worries. I think you might have told me already on the phone a little while ago.
Nah,
unless it's something else.
I told you, because I haven't told anyone. I've been told by the woman, not the woman, but by someone that's telling one just yet. Just keep it under wraps.
Fair enough. Well, I'm too curious, so I think we're gonna wrap it up so you can tell me the story off camera.
Yeah, man.
Leave the rest of the people waiting and curious. Leave them in the dark. But yeah.
Cliffhanger.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's been good.
Yeah.
Sick. All right.